So what you got to understand about this time was that the Pilgrims weren't known as Pilgrims back then. They were a separatist group from the Puritan Church, and King James, he really didn't like them for that.
The Pilgrims moved to Holland or the Netherlands, and it was dreadful there, so they got a loan and moved to America. The Pilgrims left September 6, 1620, and they planned to pay off their debt through fishing. The only problem was they didn't really know how to fish, so they had to start stealing things, which is not cool, dudes.
They landed in January, which farming ain't too good in January. 40 people died.
I scheiße mein Hose. Samoset was an Indian who could speak English and wanted to trade with the settlers. He then would bring Squanto, who could also speak English. This shows how important the English language is to learn. Ich bin Dänisch.
So, the chief, he didn't trust them. They were not really trustworthy. But then they convinced the chief that they were peaceful and that they were cool dudes. And so then the chief was like, yeah. And so then they were signing this treaty deal, and it was like crazy. They signed this treaty and they were like all together, and
Squantum, also known as Squanto, was taken by English settlers in 1614 to Spain, where he was then sold to England by virtue of the slave trade. There he was able to learn English and was able to make a deal to where he could get back to America, and he was able to help out the Pilgrims in all of their farming endeavors with his amazing linguistic skills.
Many prominent members of the scientific and historical communities, including myself, believe that Squanto was actually an extraterrestrial from Mars sent down to help the English colonize America.
What? So that year they actually had a really great harvest, and it was so great because of the knowledge that they had learned from the Native Americans there. And so they invited all of their Native American friends over, and they brought 90 warriors and 5 deer, and so that way they were able to have a feast together.
It was called the Harvest Feast and lasted 3 days. That's an awful amount of turkey, but it's brilliant that the Pilgrims were able to make it.